Hello again. My name is Tracy Kaywood, and you're watching the Property Mob Show. Mob standing for Makers of Badass Investors. And that's what I'm going to do for you, is make you a badass investor so you can go out and make money wholesaling properties. Each week we take 10 minutes to answer your questions that you send in using the Ask a Question link right on the website at propertymob.com. And then I answer them for you, and hopefully it helps you overcome some of your obstacles and let you go out there and make some real money. Each week after you watch the show, using these sharing as sexy icons right down here at the bottom, just make sure you bookmark this website, and that'll help us out and get some traction. Tell your friends about us. They can submit questions. You can submit as many questions as you want to, by the way, and eventually I'll get to them all and answer them. So be sure to ask a question and watch the show next week. The first question this week is from Jim. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, so I'm not even going to try it, but I know Jim's from Jacksonville. I was wondering how you go about finding sellers in order to send out the yellow letters, especially when you're new to the wholesaling business. That's a good question, Jim. All of them are actually good questions, but it can be a bit overwhelming at first trying to figure out who you want to send letters to, yellow letters. And because of the response rate that you're going to get from these letters, you do need to choose your list wisely. Now there are, of course, specific lists that you should use if you're going to be wholesaling. I like free and clear properties because they have a lot of equity, at least 50%, so you know that you can negotiate a price that is at or below M.O.B, maximum allowable offer, where you need to be in order to be able to wholesale it and still make a profit. Probates are absolutely excellent source of leads. They're usually free and clear, no mortgage. Most of the time they need a lot of repairs, and the heirs to the estate are pretty motivated to sell and get rid of those properties quickly. So definitely check into probates in your area. Absentee owners are another good list for wholesales, as well as code violations from the city. Now here where we are in Jacksonville, we can get a list of code violations for no money. We just ask the city department, the code enforcement, for the list, and they give us, over 5,000 names of people who have violations, or, the property is in distress. And they're a good list to market to with yellow letters. The main thing, Jim, is to pick a market and be consistent with your marketing plan and make sure that you're sending them mail every month. A yellow letter followed up by postcards is an excellent way to keep in touch with them, and eventually when they get sick of the problem, they'll call you, and you'll have the first dibs on looking at the property and making an offer. So thanks, Jim. Next question is from Miguel. His question is, to short sale or not to short sale? That is the question. As a wholesaler that sticks to REOs and free and clear distressed owners, am I leaving money on the table, not taking advantage of the pre-foreclosure market? I'm thinking commercial short sales too. What's your take? Well, Miguel, no matter what kind of marketing you do these days, you're going to come across people that are facing foreclosure. In fact, the statistics are like 4 out of 10 homeowners are behind on their payments and facing foreclosures, and the number's not changing. It's not getting any better yet. So if you're passing up short sales, then absolutely you are leaving money on the table. Yes, they're a completely different monster than wholesaling. Different techniques, negotiating techniques, putting the package together for the bank. Everything is different about short sales than it is wholesale. Wholesaling could be your exit strategy for a short sale property, but you're absolutely leaving a lot of money on the table if you are passing up short sales or people that are in pre-foreclosure. So maybe get some education on the short sale process and start tackling those and add some more money to your bank for sure. This is from Thos, Thos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. His question is, what's the best way to go on title to start seasoning when I get a property under contract? Well, you might be mixing wholesaling. Remember, this show is about wholesaling. So you might be confusing that with short sales and needing title seasoning in order to sell a property to a conventional or an FHA buyer. When you're wholesaling properties, there is no title seasoning requirements ever. The concept behind wholesaling is to get a contract signed with the seller, and then you have the right to assign your interest in that contract to a new buyer for a fee. That's really, in a nutshell, what wholesaling is. So there's never any time where you're going to go on title or that you're going to need title seasoning in order to sell that property to someone else. Most of the time, because of the type of properties that you're buying, it's going to be a cash transaction, and there's definitely no title seasoning requirements for cash. So no title seasoning. You just need to be on the contract and have it locked down with the seller in order to sell it for a profit. Next question is from William Bradshaw. Hi Tracy, question is about protecting yourself. What is the cheapest way of protecting yourself when you start your wholesaling business? Mr. Bradshaw, I guess this would depend on your assets and your cash availability and what you're trying to protect. In essence, a lot of people want to form some type of sub-S corporation or an LLC to protect themselves, asset protection in the event there is a lawsuit. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a portfolio or your assets are not strong, then worry about that later. You don't really need to form any type of corporation in the beginning. You can write a contract in your personal name, assign it, after a few deals, maybe then start thinking about setting up an LLC that will protect you during, your venture as a wholesaler. And you can, it's just a couple $100 to form the LLC, but, get some legal advice from your CPA, depending on your situation. That'll kind of help you determine what kind of entity that you need to set up. But for right now, just go out there and do some deals. And this question, the final question is from, I don't think we have time. I'm sorry, I just got the cue that we're almost out of time, so I didn't get my 4-minute warning on this one. That is all the time we have today for the questions. I was about to get a question from Randy Hunley, so next week, Randy, I'll get to your question. Thanks again for watching the Property Mob Show, where we are the makers of badass investors. If you have a question, be sure to ask the question. Use the Ask a Question link on the website, and be sure to bookmark us. Right underneath this video also is a recommend button for Facebook. Make sure you push that so your friends can see and they can come here and ask their questions too. And we are in the lounge in Jacksonville. Next week we'll be recording from Arizona. So send me your question and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.